Hello, class. It is Tuesday, February 28th, and we're about a week away from turning in your synthesis essay. And I wanted to take a minute and go through the essay, kind of like I did with the analysis essay, and talk a little bit about what the essay should look like and use a student example. I have been kind of sick lately and had some obligations with the public school I teach at, so I haven't been able to be as active and quick with grading as I normally am, even though they give us as instructors a week per assignment, but I've been a little slower than my normal self, so I wanted to make sure, because you're not getting as prompt feedback from me, that you are still feeling good about your synthesis essay and the direction that it's headed. I've also had a couple emails of confusion about the paper, so I just want to make sure everybody knows what you're doing and where you're headed. And again, always feel like you can email me. We're all busy. I know I'm busy, and I get a lot of emails that say, Sister Anderson, I know you're busy, but you don't need to acknowledge that. I'm always here to answer questions, no matter how busy. So please feel like you can reach out to me if you have questions, because I do want you to be successful with this essay and in this class. So looking at the synthesis paper assignment sheet, which there's a link to this on my announcement for this week, this is the paper description. So you're taking two sources. One can be the essay that you wrote your first essay on, your analytical essay or analysis essay, and then a second source that is a different perspective, and you're bringing them together and letting them take you to new independent thought. Again, the best example I can give you of this essay, it's not that confusing when you think about it in this way, is that it's like a church talk. We've all done this in sacrament meeting. You've been given a topic, and you have to find two talks, conference talks, merge them together, and not just quote the two conference talks, but say something of your own about the topic. From the pulpit, you wouldn't just recount two of our general authorities' comments, you would say your own as well. And so that's what you're doing here, and I know I've talked through this before. So here is your organization. Follow this very closely, and you'll be okay. So particularly your claim is really important, and I'll show you in a student example, your two correctly formatted summaries, and then here, paying particular attention to this section should clearly demonstrate a new understanding and draw on the text. So paying attention to those parts. Let's look at the student example from last semester. I think this student did an exceptional job, so it got a very high score. So it'll help you see what a excellent example should be. First of all, notice the MLA formatting with the title, a heading, and the page numbers up here at the top. There's a nice intro and hook into the topic of video games with some rhetorical questions, some statements about video games themselves. Then we have the introduction of the two authors here. So it says, before we get to that, you have the author's issue question. Your issue question needs to be in your introduction. It is what you're using the two articles to synthesize and answer. So our issue question is it any wonder then that educators now explore whether video games have a place in the classroom alongside books, movies, and television? That was the issue question. Do video games have a place in the classroom alongside books, movies, and television? Then he introduces his two authors here and talk about where their ideas converge. So two authors, Daniel Short and Kirk Squire, offer their answer to this question. Both Daniel Short's teaching specific concepts using a virtual world of Minecraft and Kurt Squire's changing the game, what happens when video games enter the classroom, agree that video and computer games can improve classroom learning, and both authors lay out plans for achieving this improvement. So there's the two authors, there's where they converge. Then our writer talks about where they diverge, However, while Short enthusiastically outlines how his chosen game can aid in teaching a variety of scientific disciplines, Squire, the second author, is more reserved, arguing that school culture and classroom pedagogy must first change before game-based learning will benefit the majority of students. There's where they diverge. So acknowledging both, and then the last part of the claim is the author, Steve's student, this person, his own synthesis. So remember back on our rubric, this section should clearly demonstrate an understanding and draw on the text, so that should be reflected in your intro. Only when schools combine Short's vision for mapping lesson plans into gameplay with Squire's prescription for rewarding self-motivated learning will educators effectively translate students' enthusiasm for video games outside of the classroom into successful game-based learning in the classroom. That was not mentioned in either of the articles. Our writer, our student, is combining those two articles and going somewhere of his own thought, right? He's synthesizing into this opinion. This is analysis, right? He's saying his own idea. So you really need to reflect that. And that's probably the number one mistake students make on this essay, is that they don't let it allow for some independent thought, right? They just synthesize the two articles and then don't do anything with it. So your intro should reflect that new idea that you're presenting. Then we have two well done and correct summaries. So first we have Daniel Short. Look at what's there. Remember, in your summary you have the title, the author, the credential, and the argument of the article. And then no quotations from the article, attribution to the author, so Short provides, Short concludes, giving him credit for the thoughts. And then he did quote here, so we asked you not to do that in the summary, so he lost a point or two there for doing that, but still a very effective summary. Then followed by the second one, also done correctly, attributing, sorry, that word was tricky for a minute, the thoughts to Squire. And then again, some quotes in the summary, which he lost a couple points for, but still had an effective summary. Then our author spends some time talking about what the texts have in common. We already know where he's going with this because he predicted in his intro what he's going to talk about. And if you remember here, where do they converge? Where do they diverge? And our author does a good job doing that. You could pause the video here and read through some of this if you would like to. But he takes about a paragraph to do that, and then he focuses on what one author says, Short, and then what the other author says. Notice how he has a nice balance of quotes, not over quoting the authors, keeping a good ratio of quotations and his own voice, and then only spends a paragraph talking about where the two authors diverge. Then he moves into his synthesis. The synthesis should be the significant part of your paper. It shouldn't be the two authors' thoughts, it should be your own discussion. So here is, you can pause here and read as he develops his own ideas about how educators should use video games in classrooms. That is 1, 2, 3 paragraphs, right? Because it's a short paper. So you have, in terms of length, the majority is the synthesis. And again, you could pause the video and read some of this if you would like. Followed up by a correct works cited page, because you have multiple articles here. Because you have multiple articles, whenever you cite, you need to clarify whose essay you're citing. So he lost a couple points here because there's no author here. I don't know which article this comes from. So make sure in your citations that you're clarifying, which article you're citing from, because you have multiple authors. And that's where this paper lost some points, is with the quoting and the summaries and the citations. But the analysis and the synthesis was done correctly. So I hope that helps. Again, please email me any questions that you have. Hopefully in the next day or two, as I'm starting to feel a little bit better from this great head cold, I will jump into some discussion boards and make sure you get a lot of good feedback from me. But I'm here to answer questions if you need them.